Hello, my name is Andy, and I am the village idiot. And I'm armed with a car and a GoPro, and an unhealthy amount of time on my hands. Welcome back to the district of Selby. And to start this one off, we're going to be driving. Welcome to the parish of Burn. We're beginning this one with a short drive into the village from Henwick Hall Level Crossing and into Burn. It's not a very long way, and we'll be heading towards and onto the A19, skirting around the northern edge of Burn's largest landmark. Burn civil parish covers quite a large area of land to the south of the town of Selby. The village is mainly situated around the A19 road, with the addition of a small housing estate built in the mid-1960s to the west of the main road. A lot of Burn parish is taken up to the east by the huge Burn Airfield, which we'll see later. To the north of the village between Burn and Brayton is a canal, and the A19 crosses it on Burn Bridge. Believe it or not, the parish boundaries don't include Burn Bridge, as it lies just over the border and into Brayton. The Brayton episode shall therefore cover the canal and the bridge. For all its diminutive size, Burn has a huge community spirit. Pulled together by common causes which often include fighting ever-increasing traffic on the A19 and opposing plans for a new gypsy and traveller site on Burn Airfield, residents now enjoy a regular programme of events and celebrations. The Burn Christmas Lights Switch On is a major event every year, and it often attracts celebrity interest, according to Burn Parish Council's website at least. These have included the BBC's Harry Gration and the late Jean Alexander, best known as Hilda Ogden, from Coronation Street. With a population of just over 400 people, the village comprises around 190 houses. The Wheatsheaf Pub, Burn Methodist Chapel and Burn Cricket Club can all be found here. Burn is also home to Burn Gliding Club based on Burn Airfield, which was made famous due to the presence of 578 Squadron during World War II. And in October 2012, the village saw a new memorial unveiled in memory of the Royal Canadian Air Force's 431 Squadron, or the Iroquois Squadron, founded at Burn in November 1942. So as well as the old chapel there, I've just come past a building that's got a postbox in the wall. May well have been the old post office. Don't know, that's something for you Burn locals to tell me. The village was historically part of the West Riding of Yorkshire until 1974. Burn doesn't have a lot to talk about historically. The airfield is the main historical feature, but there are some other things dotted around the place if you know where to look. These old buildings are related to the airfield. The large square building is an old guard post. There were and are plenty of airfield related buildings that were dotted around the village. These included a gymnasium, a sergeant's mess and an ablutions block. The war memorial here is in fact two memorial stones, one for each of the RAF squadrons that were stationed at Burn during World War II. The modern day 431 Squadron is named the Snowbirds and is the Canadian equivalent of the Red Arrows. The local pub here has memorabilia of both 578 Squadron and 431 Squadron. The main cemetery in Selby also has a collection of World War II war graves which relate to the base's wartime operations. I did find a piece of murderous history too about this village. In January 2009, Chinese national Chen Kai-guan was tortured and beaten to death in a warehouse on an Elvington industrial estate just outside York. In March of that year, the body of Mr. Chen was found by fishermen at the canal here in Burn. And football related, George King, who was one of the great-grandfathers of the Colombian footballer Radamel Falcao, was born in the village. There's no shop here or any kind of retail facilities. At one time though, the village boasted two shops. One was the village post office. That would close in 1989 and the other village store closed in 1992. It was located on West Lane. Here's Burn Hall, the most expensive property in this part of the village, and it gives its name to the street it stands on, Burn Hall Crescent. Burn in general has a decent house price, on average coming in at £350,000. Demographically, the parish has a very low population density of 45.61, covering as it does 10.22 square kilometres. The population here is generally white British at 98.6%, and there are a lot of retired people in this one too. The percentage of people over the age of 65 is very high here, at just over 35%. Burn has very little in terms of amenities. It does have a telephone exchange though, which serves about 400 premises. Here's the public house. This is the Wheatsheaf Inn. It has an abundance of events throughout the year, including beer festivals, barbecues and live bands. Here's Burn Methodist Church on the A19, a small village chapel with a friendly, welcoming congregation. Burn used to have a missionary house too, that was used as a Sunday school. It's now a private dwelling. And Burn does have a bus service, two in fact, the 405 to Doncaster and the 476 to Pontefract. So as is typically the case when we see a village on the A19, there's plenty of traffic because the A19 is a very, very important road, a major arterial route from Doncaster all the way up towards the northeast. Okay, I've come to Common Lane now. I'm just going to cross over the A19 if there's nothing coming, which there isn't, because I'm hoping to get onto something over there. I'm not sure if I can, don't know whether it's public access or not. We'll soon find out. Burn Airfield is where we're heading. It's now used by Burn Gliding Club. The perimeter track of the airfield is also the location for the weekly Selby Park Run. The airfield was built in 1942 as a bomber airfield in the Second World War. The airfield was owned by Yorkshire Forward prior to the dissolution of that body in 2012 and is now owned by the Homes and Communities Agency. On the 6th of January 1944, number 578 Squadron was relocated to Burn from RAF Snaith. This Bomber Command Squadron flew Handley Page Halifax Mark IIIs before disbanding on the 15th of April 1945, and the station was closed for flying operations in July of that year. Shortly after flying was discontinued, the Royal Army Service Corps took over some facilities to store surplus equipment. Many of the buildings have been dismantled, but all three runways remain intact. On the night of the 30th of March 1944, pilot Officer Cyril Joe Barton took off from RAF Bern in a Halifax LK-797 for a raid on Nuremberg. For this, he won a posthumous Victoria Cross for valour. For some time in the early 21st century, there were plans that the airfield might be developed as the site of the European Spallation Source, or ESS, a particle accelerator facility to generate neutrons by spallation. Outline planning permission for the ESS was conditionally granted by Selby District Council in 2005. However, later statements declared no major science facilities should be built outside of the existing sites at Oxford and Daresbury. As if the airfield wasn't enough with all the footpaths that make their way across it, Bern is also a place where you can join the channel's favourite trail. And this video began at Henwick Hall Level Crossing on the Hull to Doncaster railway line, the same line that joins the East Coast Main Line at the junction we saw way back in Templehurst. This has recently been equipped with modern barriers and detection equipment, but sadly the attractive little signal box that was once here has been demolished. Okay, that's pretty much the parish of Bern, but you guys need a picture of it, and that's coming your way right now. Now we've also got a bonus section today. I have some images that were sent to me by Paul Johnson. These were from a glider day at Bern in 2012, which give you a good idea of what the local landscape looks like from the air. Paul tells me that to get a glider into the air, an aircraft tug is used to get them to 2,000 feet, before then being released and allowing the glider to make its way through the sky. You may notice Eggborough Power Station and the River Air on these images. Eggborough Power Station's cooling towers, of course, are no longer standing, and the River Air was in flood at this time. Right, cross it off folks, that's Bern complete. Another one down in the district of Selby. Time for me to go to my next one. So, this has been the Parish of Bern, and I've been Andy, also known as the Village Idiot, and I'm out.